So we've got two nice specimens here, a fabulous muskox and a brown bear. Both of these were originally on display at a museum called the Imperial Institute, which was in London, in Kensington, and they were there to sort of promote information about the British Empire. So both of these originally came from Canada, and they were acquired by Birmingham Museums when the Imperial Institute closed down, and they've been on display in the museum and gallery for a long time until they were moved over here when Think Tank opened. And here we have a nice leopard. This was purchased from the famous taxidermist Roland Ward down in London. They used to provide taxidermy for people all over the country, all over the world. They also provided a lot of services to hunters, so people who went out to places like Africa and India and hunted animals, they would then bring them back and bring their trophies back, and Roland Ward would mount them and create nice taxidermy for them. So they were one of the most sort of well-regarded and kind of experienced taxidermists, particularly for exotic animals like leopards, lions and tigers in Britain. So this is a polar bear. A lot of people, if you remember the old natural science displays at Birmingham Museum and Gallery, this was one of the big specimens that used to be there. We've now moved it over to Think Tank when that opened. So like a lot of taxidermy, this specimen was bought as a skin rather than a completed piece of taxidermy. And then one of the local firms of taxidermists would have made the model of the body of the animal and then put the skin over to turn it into a finished piece of taxidermy. So inside the polar bear, there'll be a sort of wooden frame to provide support, and then that will be stuffed with things like wood wool or other sort of packing material to give the shape of the animal. So this is another extinct bird. This is the Norfolk Island kaka. It's a parrot that only lived on a couple of tiny islands off the coast of Australia. And this specimen came from Aston Hall originally. So a lot of the taxidermy, before it even came to Birmingham Museum and Gallery, was on display in Aston Hall. So there was a huge number of birds, animals and other displays over there. It was the original sort of home of Birmingham's natural science collection, but it's not really the ideal place to keep taxidermy. So when the extension for Birmingham Museums was opened, all the taxidermy and natural science specimens were moved over there.